sit with ease and think that if your arriving on your mat is with asymmetry, that you change the habit. So I'm just simply going to switch which is the leg in front. And that will help me focus on the now. Bring your hands to your heart. Whether it is the new year time or a new practice, it is a new opportunity. And when there is something new to be learned, the very first sutra begins with that word now, atha. Atha yoga anusha asuna means now the learning of yoga begins. And what we are guided towards is truly to learn about ourselves. So how does the practice open us to that? And in a group class, how does that allow us to appreciate each other? Let us begin. If you will, then take your arms behind you and straighten the legs. And bring your feet together. Let your fingertips press back if that is possible. If you need the support of blocks underneath your hands, please do that. But I want you to think about your knees so that you'll bend your knees a little bit and then straighten the legs and reach into the inner heels. And every time you reach into the inner heels, you feel this extension of the spine. So we're going to do this in a fluid way. You can move faster than typical of your breath. So you can make it fluid to bend and extend and really think about how sitting bones are even and how you are, what we call in this exercise, pumping the knees. So we'll just wake up that lower quadrant and lend to extension so that we connect what the lower body does to the willingness of the upper body to open. Let's do that 2 more times. And then continue. Feet are wide now, as wide as your mat, maybe a little bit wider. And if you will, take the arms wide, recognizing that this is the home base and that we're going to turn and aim to the outer edge of the opposite foot with a fold. As you inhale and come upright, exhale, turn in the other direction. And as you look at what your feet are doing, how they are staying, note that you don't want to turn out or in, but to try and stay neutral. So as you exhale, let momentum and gravity help you. This is part of a pose called Upavista Konasana, upright cone. And we have many variations on preparations for any pose, but especially for this one. So where we're going with that now, it gave us a chance to create a twist. I want us to take our feet even wider. And if what you find is that the floor is too hard, you can turn sideways on your mat. But this time we're going to be a little bit more static. And I want you to turn, prop the hand behind you, reach to the outer edge of the foot. And the more you reach, the more I want you to really anchor the sitting bone that belongs to that other leg. Just keep sending your energy into the other leg and notice the stretch throughout the body. Inhale and come on up, and exhale and switch. So here we have a chance to be static, to be still, and to just really feel. What are we asking for? Where is there a give? What is different, one side compared to the other? Where we might need to stay a little longer to make this unique to us, each person. And then inhale and come on up. We're going to back off to do more. So we're going to bend in one knee and keep that long leg really wide. The idea is to keep the knees wide away from each other. And at first, we're going to turn toward the bent knee. So we're just going to simply turn, use the floor, use the fingertips at the floor, and keep thinking about the long leg, how we're trying to reach into that long leg, the inner heel. So the amount of twist becomes unique to each person. If we stay a little while, we can allow breath to help us deepen our experience. That means you might feel the give in your body, and there might be more twist available. So for me, I'm going to try to catch hold of that bent knee and then turn that little bit more. The idea is to sit upright, to stay long in the spine, and be constantly surprised at what your body will allow you to, right? So now we want to turn in the other direction and make use of a strap. I'm going to take my strap and catch hold that long leg foot. And then take the strap behind me and give it to the opposite hand and try exactly the same thing again. All right. So as you tug, what you'll find is that the shoulder opens up a little bit more. You might feel that your core is involved that little bit more. I want you to connect how the hand tugs to the push of the foot without overdoing. That means if it's too much on your shoulder, keep it light. Keep it light. Twists are a wonderful way to ease into our practice. They help us to release held tension in the spine and the back, and just invite more of that willingness of what happens from the lower to the upper body. Before we give this away, turn your head, look back to the long leg foot, and notice how there is more action in the back. Today, our practice is going to be familiar poses using leverage that just helps us access strengthening patterns. Take the time and inhale and come out of it. Before we do the other side, we have one more thing to do. We're going to go back to feet wide. And this time we're going to turn toward that leg that we have the strap. And we'll use the other hand back behind and we'll sit up tall at first. So I want this to be an upright position and to have a little bit more access to a tug, the strengthening. And what you'll find is that you can keep reaching more into that other leg. You can continue to give effort to that lengthening. Keeping that, come and fold. I'm bending my elbow, aiming nose toward the toes, keeping the sitting bones even. And again, this is an opportunity for a strengthening. This is in fact a twist, but a strengthening twist. Some of you will find that naturally you have the opportunity to fold deeply. I know that's not for everyone. So if by chance your fold is deep, you most certainly can ignore the strap. You can reach out and hold the outer edge of the foot and find how that accentuates all of the actions that are already present. One more breath. As you inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, let's do all of that in the reverse on the other side. So we're going to simply take the strap and hold the other foot. And we'll start upright and we'll sit nice and tall and just feel that strengthening pattern. Nice. Pushing into the back hand, reaching out through the crown of the head, and just giving time. We just had a great twist on the other side. So from here, when you're ready, it is a fold. This fold, bending in the elbow, keeping the front spine long, taking the nose toward the toes, it gives us a chance to have these cues that really take into account safety tips, that we're not flexing the spine, we're extending instead, and we are pointed towards, what is our own limitation, so that we're not imposing on the body, just constantly surprised what we can do. If your body allows you more, remember, come deeper into your fold. This side does not allow me to catch my foot, so I'm just coming into it a little bit more. Being true to yourself is important. As you inhale, come upright. And as you exhale, it's time to bend that other knee, to keep the knees really wide away from each other, to take the strap back behind, and to turn toward the bent knee, sitting nice and tall. So again, I want you to connect how the arm is tugging and the leg is actively lengthening. When we think about what we're doing, we can get something more out of what we're asking for. Right? So if you will then, turn your head and look back to that long leg foot. Just feel how there's more engagement in the back of your body. Very nice. This is a pose that we do with great variation. Sometimes we add a side bend to it. We aim to catch the foot with both hands. It sounds far-fetched from this angle, but it is not beyond us and it's not beyond you. If you will now, let go the strap. We're really working in the reverse. And what we did before was to keep that back hand propping us up and just to notice where we can go. So we're still turned toward the bent knee. The back hand is pushing down into the floor. The front hand can catch the knee possibly, or just use the floor. That's how we started. But just to notice what is different between using the strap and not. We want to always remember the lessons of the pose, both sitting bones anchored. So already we've had this lengthening of the midline of the body. If you will, start simply. Think about a narrow block. I want to take this narrow block and put it between my feet so I'm not losing altogether all of this inner thigh lengthening. I get to feel that it's accessible. Hopefully you get to feel that it is accessible. You'll hold on to your feet or your ankles and sit tall. So if we want to think about all the relationships, think about the outer edges of the feet, how they press down into the floor, how the outer edges of the soles of the feet press into the block. And not only do we have more action, but we have a safety net. We have lengthening and strengthening at the same time. We're going to use this pose. This pose is called Baddha Konasana. It's a bound angle, this bound closed chain, if you will, and we're going to use it to fold. So if we keep the back fairly straight and think about folding forward, we understand that the limiting factor is in fact these inner thigh muscles. And I don't get very far. Every day is different. But where I would like you to go is to think about the proximity of your elbows to your inner thighs. And whether you need to sit more upright or if you need to not hold on to your feet, I want you to think about pressing your elbows down and out as if you're trying to guide those inner thigh muscles to a lengthening down and out. And then just notice your body's response, more of that action that comes into that holding pattern. You can find a balance between both of those places. Front spine lengthening, collarbone spreading. There's a lot going on here. Right? So we're going to use the lengthening of this inner line to invite the lengthening of the front line of the body. As you inhale, come upright, and then take the blocks behind you. I'm going to take mine so that they're low and they are behind me, and place them so that my hands can use the blocks. As you plant your feet, we're not going high. At first, I want you to push into the blocks and then lift the pelvis any amount. And just check out and notice dropping the hips, lifting up. So I want to drop the hips down. I want to lift back up. And we can make it more of a conditioning exercise by repeating. So I'm not asking you to stay long, but I'm asking you to notice how your hips can hang your spine. So I can get there and go, I'm not charging my legs yet. So there's a difference. What the difference is the traction. So I get to use the heaviness of the hips to just create space in the spine. And we're using the movement to strengthen the upper body, the back of the shoulders. All right. So this time, if you will, come with a little bit more height, charge the legs. So press into the arms. Your body will tell your feet where to go. I want to lift the pelvis. You can go as high as you wish. But as you get up there, I want you to notice what your head can do. At first, if you'll look ahead, and as you need, take a break. So let's come on down just to feel that we're not being asked to do too much too soon. Looking ahead protects the neck if you have a neck issue. So go again and bear into your feet to the inner heels, come as high as you wish to go. And then lift your gaze, meaning lift your chin a little bit and just notice the front of your neck, those muscles are holding up the weight of your head. You're strengthening probably the counterbalance of looking down a lot. We all tend to do that somewhat through the day, and then come on down. So what doesn't happen here is dropping the head back. And the reason I want to share that is because, first of all, I don't do that. But secondly, there are as many levels of ability as there are people. And if this is part of your practice, you should know that you don't get to drop your head until your sternum is really more elevated, making it safe for your neck. And we're all different in our neck. So we're going to do two more, and we're going to talk about more options, okay? I want to press down into the block. And where I want you to play is to notice, do my fingertips point forward? What happens in my shoulders if I turn my fingertips out? What makes a difference to me? Is it better? It is more requirement of the shoulder girdle, but is it manageable, right? And so lifting any amount, and then until we are able to go really high, we are not being invited to drop the head. So at most, it would be keeping your neck neutral. And again, that's not for everyone or for every day. So I'm trying to make sure that there's a challenge for every level of ability. So we're going to go one more time. And with that last cue, turning the fingertips back is even more. I have more of an open set of shoulders. And if you start to get there and you're just not happy with it, then please turn the fingertips forward. That is more traditional. Okay, so here we go in this pose. And bring your feet together and then take one leg long and bring it back. And take the other leg long. Notice the quality of your mind, trying something new, trying something that is more, and the quality of your breath. And then come on down. Sit with your legs somewhat crossed, with your knees a little higher than they would be otherwise. And we're going to do one more thing with the pushing action. And we're going to do more with this in the future. So I'm taking my blocks beside me. And from the front, it looks like this. And we're not going high necessarily. This is part of a pose called pendulum. And we have to start somewhere. So we're pushing and using our legs to lift the sitting bones off the floor. My arms are working, my legs are working a little bit, and then set yourself back down. Just notice the beginning of our class gave us a chance to be way back here. Our legs were long. If you prefer that, go back to it. But what if you were able to rely more on your arms and less on your legs? Okay, so even if you went nowhere, if you didn't lift up, but you just pushed down, it lends itself to the long-term goal. And so I want my arms to do more, and then come on down. And we're just going to do that one more time. This makes for great homework. Switch which leg is in front. I'm not dropping my legs out. I'm keeping my knees higher on purpose and just making it more about talking the upper body into this. I want to push down and I want to let my hips hang my spine. And so in time, we're going to be able to rock, and we're going to use it to step or jump back or to step or jump forward. That is in our future. Sit with knees bent and arms ahead. Okay. So at first, we're going to drop back. We're going to drop back and really think about how this is a preparation for a boat pose. And abdominal wall is working. This is a little bit of core work. And then inhale and come on up. Can we lift one leg? And then can we lift the other and really think about boat pose? We loosened up a lot of muscles. Can we straighten one leg? And then straighten the other leg. You can alternate again, or you can aim to straighten both legs, any of that. And place them back down, reach ahead, and come on to that challenging place. Now that you know it, come another inch, drop back 1 inch. Inhale and come on up. And whether you turn to the side or you just draw back this way, we're going to slowly come down and we're going to make it all the way down. So take your time. This is about you. Try to slow down that last 1/4 of the way. This is called half boat pose. And then take the arms overhead, flex the feet strongly, reach the fingertips far away from the inner heels. We want to continue to open as we settle in. So if you will, take your blocks and place them so that they are underneath the upper thighs, really close to your sitting bones. Your pelvis is still on the floor. Glutes are on the floor. And then arms beside you. Before we drape the legs, if you'll come into your bridge, center your head, reach the arms down, invite the neck to lengthen. Notice how you are with your ankles not rolling the weight out, but more toward the inner edges of the feet. And as you come down one vertebra at a time, drape the legs over, bear down with your legs again. Reach into the inner heels, draw the toes back towards you. We're going to take 3 breaths here while the pelvis is lifted off the floor, while the heels are off the floor, and taking the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, swing the arms toward the ceiling, reaching actively down beside us. Keeping the legs charged and the body lifted. Inhale, lift the arms. This begins to tug away at the relationships of that deep psoas muscle and how it needs to be long and strong so the lower back is resilient. Take the arms toward the ceiling. Keep reaching into the inner heels. Keep drawing the toes back towards you. Reach down towards your heels with your fingertips. And one last time, please. Inhaling. So with these repetitions, you can feel the constant adjustment of all the relationships. This is refining, empowering, balancing, and then releasing. As you rest the arms, this time rest your legs. And close your eyes if you wish, if that helps you to settle down more. Turn your palms up if that allows you to give away anything more. Bend your elbows and rest your fingertips, your hands at your belly if that feels more as if you are protecting your energy. But bring your mind's eye to the fall and rise of the belly. Allow the awareness to radiate to all the corners of the body. Bring your knees to your chest and roll to one side. Allow your body to settle in here. And when you're ready, press up and sit. Since your blocks are nearby, consider sitting with a little bit of height. I'm going to put mine together and I'm going to sit at my blocks. So we began with the focus on the now, and we ended with the focus on inviting something into the future, that we carry what we practice from our mat with us. And I hope that manifests in ways that have a beautiful, positive ripple effect for you. Namaste.